I just fired a technician for trying to charge a customer $400 for a repair she didn't need. And you know what the scary part is? This happens every single day in 63% of repair shops across America. I'm Jake. I've been a mechanic for 15 years, and today I'm blowing the whistle on 13 scams that are costing you thousands. Scam number 7? It's so common you've probably already fallen for it. Scam number 1, the urgent fluid flush. This one makes my blood boil because it's so easy and so profitable for dishonest shops. Here's how it works. You come in for an oil change, and suddenly the service advisor says, "Your coolant looks terrible, it needs a flush now, or your engine could overheat." They show you a dirty sample, create panic, and boom, you're paying $150 to $300 for a flush you don't need. Here's the truth. Most fluids last 50,000 to 100,000 miles, but shops push flushes at 30,000 miles because it's pure profit. I've seen service managers keep a bottle of old, contaminated fluid in the back just to show customers and scare them. Last month, a lady came to my shop after another place told her she needed an emergency coolant flush at 35,000 miles. I tested her fluid, it was perfectly fine. She would have wasted $280 for nothing. How to protect yourself? Always ask for proof. A simple test strip costs $5 and shows if fluid is actually bad. No test strip? Walk away. If they can't prove it scientifically, they're guessing. Scam number 2, the mystery check engine light. This little light terrifies drivers and mechanics know it. It's their golden ticket to upsell you hundreds of dollars in unnecessary repairs. Here's the scam. Your check engine light comes on, you panic and drive straight to the shop. They plug in their scanner, look serious and say, "Oh, this is bad. Could be your catalytic converter, oxygen sensors, maybe the whole emissions system. We're looking at $800 to fix this." But here's what they're not telling you. The EPA says 10% of check engine lights are triggered by something as simple as a loose gas cap. That's right, a $2 problem being sold as a $1,000 disaster. I had a customer last week who went to 3 different shops. First shop said $1,200 for catalytic converter. Second shop said $900 for oxygen sensors. When she came to me, I plugged in my scanner code P0455. Know what that is? A loose gas cap. I tightened it, cleared the code, total cost $0. How to protect yourself? Buy a $20 OBD2 scanner. I've got one linked in the description. Plug it in yourself, Google the code. Most codes are simple fixes. If a shop refuses to show you the actual code, they're hiding something. Scam number 3, unnecessary air filter replacement. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book, and it still works because most people never look under their own hood. Here's how they do it. You come in for an oil change, and the technician comes out holding a filthy, disgusting air filter covered in leaves, dirt, and dead bugs. He says, "Look how bad this is. Your engine can't breathe. We need to replace this immediately or you'll damage your engine." You feel embarrassed, maybe a little guilty, and you say yes to a $45 filter replacement. But here's the dirty secret, and I mean literally dirty. That filter they showed you, it's not yours. Many shops keep a really nasty filter in the back just to show customers. It's their scare prop. The Car Care Council found that 1 in 4 drivers get tricked into replacing air filters way too early. Most filters last 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Unless you're driving through the Sahara Desert daily, your filter is probably fine. I caught one of my former techs doing this scam. He'd swap the customer's clean filter with the dirty display filter, show it to them, then put their original clean filter back in and charge $45. Pure profit, zero work. How to protect yourself? Pop your own hood before the oil change. Take a photo of your air filter. If they show you a different filter later, you've caught them red-handed. And replacing an air filter takes 30 seconds. Mine is YouTube it and save yourself $30 in labor. Scam number 4, the synthetic oil upsell. This one drives me crazy because synthetic oil is great when you actually need it, but shops push it on everyone because it doubles their profit margin. Here's the pitch. You bring your car in for a regular oil change and suddenly the service advisor says, "We highly recommend synthetic oil for your vehicle. It's better for the engine, reduces wear, and your car will run smoother." Sounds good, right? So you pay $80 instead of $40. But here's what Consumer Reports found. 75% of cars run perfectly fine on conventional oil. Synthetic is designed for high-performance engines, extreme temperatures, or heavy towing. If you're driving a regular sedan to work and back, you're wasting your money. I had a customer with a 2015 Honda Civic. The dealer convinced her she needed synthetic oil every time. Over 5 years, she spent an extra $1,200 compared to conventional oil. Her owner's manual, it specified conventional 5-watt 30. The dealer just wanted the extra profit. Here's the truth. Synthetic costs shops about $5 more per quart than conventional, but they charge you $40 extra. That's 800% markup on the upgrade. How to protect yourself? Check your owner's manual or oil filler cap. If it says synthetic required or you have a turbo engine, then yes, use synthetic. If not, conventional oil is perfectly fine. Don't let them scare you into unnecessary upgrades. Scam number 5, the brake pad scare. This one's dangerous because it plays on your fear of not being able to stop your car. Nobody wants to take risks with brakes, and dishonest mechanics know this. Here's how it works. You bring your car in for a routine service and the technician says, your brake pads are dangerously thin, you're at 10% life. We need to replace them immediately before you have an accident. Panic sets in and you're writing a check for $400 before you can think straight. But here's the truth. Brake pads don't need replacing until they're worn down to 3 millimeters. Most shops will push replacement at 5 millimeters or higher because it's a high-profit service. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says pads below 3 millimeter risk damaging rotors, but above that, you're safe. I caught this scam in my own shop. A technician told a customer her pads were at a critical level and needed immediate replacement. I measured them myself, they were at 4.5 millimeters. She had at least another 10,000 miles left on those pads. Here's what really makes this scam profitable. Once they get you to say yes to pads, they often add, your rotors are warped too. We need to replace those as well. Suddenly your $400 brake job becomes $800. How to protect yourself? Always ask to see the measurement. An honest mechanic will show you with a caliper or gauge. If they refuse or say, just trust me, walk out. And many cars have built-in wear indicators that squeal when pads are actually low. If you don't hear squealing, you're probably fine. Scam number 6. The fake factory-only parts lie. Dealers love this one because it triples their profit while making you feel like you have no choice. Here's the scam. You need a repair, and the service advisor says you must use factory OEM parts or it'll void your warranty. Aftermarket parts are inferior and will damage your car, so you pay $200 for a part that costs $80 aftermarket. But here's the truth, and this is important. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act protects you. Manufacturers cannot void your warranty just because you used aftermarket parts or went to an independent shop. That's federal law. They can only deny a claim if they prove the aftermarket part caused the failure. I had a Honda dealer tell a customer he needed a factory alternator for $450 or his powertrain warranty would be void. I sold him a quality aftermarket alternator for $180, same specifications, same performance, 3-year warranty. His Honda warranty stayed perfectly valid. Here's the profit margin. An OEM oxygen sensor costs dealers about $120. They sell it for $250. An aftermarket sensor with identical specs costs $75 and performs the same. The National Automotive Parts Association did a study. 89% of aftermarket parts perform just as well as OEM and cost 30 to 50% less. Now, there are exceptions. Some luxury brands like Mercedes or BMW have specific warranty requirements, and if you're under a bumper-to-bumper warranty for major repairs, check your paperwork. But for routine stuff, alternators, starters, brakes, batteries, quality aftermarket parts work perfectly fine. How to protect yourself? Ask to see your warranty paperwork. It probably says genuine or equivalent parts. That word equivalent means aftermarket is fine. If they can't show you in writing that aftermarket voids your warranty, they're lying. Scam number 7, and this is the one I mentioned at the start, overcharging for simple fixes. This is the scam that made me fire someone, and it happens every single day in repair shops across America. Here's how it works. A simple repair that takes 5 minutes gets billed as if it took an hour. A cabin air filter that costs $10 online and takes 30 seconds to replace, they charge you $155 for the marked up filter and $100 in labor. Let me tell you the story that made me fire my technician. A woman came in, her cabin air filter light was on. My tech came back with an estimate, $145 for the filter replacement. I asked him how long it would take. He said about 20 minutes. I knew that was a lie. It's a 2-minute job on her car model. I went out to talk to the customer myself. I showed her that replacing her cabin air filter required opening the glove box, popping out 2 clips, and sliding in the new filter. No tools needed. Takes literally 90 seconds. I did it right there in front of her, charged her $15 for the filter, and sent her on her way. That technician fired on the spot. Because here's what he was doing. He'd been charging customers $100 to $150 in labor for jobs that took less than 5 minutes. Wiper blades, cabin filters, headlight bulbs, all simple DIY jobs being sold as complex repairs. The Federal Trade Commission says auto repair fraud costs Americans $2 billion per year, and overcharging for simple fixes is the biggest piece of that pie. How to protect yourself? YouTube it first. Before you pay for any repair, search how to replace part name on your car on YouTube. If you see a 3-minute video of someone doing it with no tools, you're being ripped off. Cabin air filters, wiper blades, air filters, headlight bulbs, these are all 5-minute jobs that shops charge $80 to $150 for. Scam number 8, the phantom repair. This one's infuriating because you're literally paying for work that never happened. You hand over your money, drive away, and the repair was never actually done. Here's how it works. You authorize a repair, let's say a fuel pump replacement for $600. The shop takes your money, gives you an invoice, and you drive off thinking your car is fixed. But weeks later, the same problem comes back. You take it to another mechanic, and guess what? The fuel pump was never replaced. It's still the original failing pump. The Federal Trade Commission reports that phantom repairs are part of the $2 billion in annual auto repair fraud. Shops count on the fact that most customers can't verify the work was actually done. You don't know what a new fuel pump looks like versus your old one. You just trust they did the work. I had a customer come to me after paying another shop $650 for a new transmission flush and filter replacement. She was still having shifting problems. I put her car on the lift and checked the transmission fluid was black and burnt, exactly like it would be if it had never been changed. The filter still had the original date stamp from the factory. She paid $650 for absolutely nothing. The really sneaky version of this scam is when they do some work, but not what they charged you for. They'll replace a $20 sensor but charge you for a $400 computer module. You feel like something was done, so you don't question it. How to protect yourself. Always ask to see the old parts they removed. Any honest shop will show you. Take before and after photos if possible. For major repairs, ask them to show you the old part with clear damage visible. If they claim they already threw it away or recycled it, huge red flag. Demand before and after photos in your service agreement. Scam number 9, the "your warranty is voided" lie. Dealerships use this threat to force you into overpriced service, but it's completely illegal. Here's the scam. You mentioned getting your oil changed at an independent shop, and the dealer says, if you don't service your car here with us, your warranty is void. They make it sound like federal law, but it's actually a federal lie. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act protects you. Manufacturers cannot void your warranty just because you used an independent shop or non-OEM parts. They can only deny a specific claim if they prove your service caused that specific failure. I had a Toyota dealer tell a customer her powertrain warranty was void because she got oil changes at my shop instead of theirs. Total lie. I showed her the federal law, she filed a complaint with the FTC, and that dealer got a warning. Here's what they're really doing. They want to lock you into their service department where oil changes cost $90 instead of $45 elsewhere. Over 5 years, that's $1,350 in extra profit from your fear. How to protect yourself. Keep all service records from any reputable shop. If a dealer denies a warranty claim, demand they show you in writing how your maintenance caused that specific failure. They can't, because the law requires proof. And if they continue to threaten you, report them to the FTC. They've shut down dealers for this exact scam. Scam number 10, blinker fluid and fake products. This sounds too absurd to be real, but it happens more than you think, and the real scam goes deeper. The classic joke is blinker fluid or muffler bearings, things that don't exist. Most mechanics don't literally try this anymore, but they've evolved the scam into selling fake or unnecessary products. Here's the modern version, premium windshield washer fluid for $50, that's the same as the $3 bottle at the gas station. Fuel injector cleaning formula that's already in your gas. Headlight restoration treatment for $120 when a $10 kit from AutoZone works the same. Last year, a shop tried to sell my customer premium cabin air purification system for $200. Know what it was? A $15 charcoal air freshener stuck behind the glove box. That's a 1,300% markup on a gas station air freshener. The fuel injector scam is huge. They'll say your fuel system needs professional cleaning, $150. But modern gas already has detergents that clean injectors. Unless you've been using terrible gas for years, you don't need this service. How to protect yourself. If it sounds too good, too fancy, or too scientific, Google it first. Search product name automotive scam and see what comes up. Real products have real evidence. Snake oil just has marketing. And remember, if your car is running fine, you probably don't need mystery miracle products. Scam number 11, the shock and strut upsell. This is a classic sell based on mileage, not condition scam that costs customers over $1,000 unnecessarily. Here's how it works. Your car hits 60,000 miles and suddenly the shop says, your shocks and struts are worn out, you need to replace them for safety. But here's the truth. Shocks and struts don't fail based on mileage, They fail based on driving conditions. Most shocks last 50,000 to 100,000 miles, but many go beyond that. If you're not experiencing rough ride, poor handling, or uneven tire wear, your shocks are probably fine. But shops push replacement at 60,000 miles as preventative maintenance. Here's the test they won't show you. Push down hard on each corner of your car. If it bounces more than twice after you let go, then your shocks might need attention. If it settles quickly, they're fine. This 10-second test could save you $1,200 and Navia setters and median. I had a shop try to sell a customer 4 struts for $1,400 at 62,000 miles. I did the bounce test, the car settled perfectly. I checked for leaks, none. The ride quality was fine. Those struts had another 50,000 miles left easily. How to protect yourself? Don't replace shocks based on mileage alone. Replace them based on symptoms: bouncy ride, poor handling, fluid leaks, or uneven tire wear. If you have none of these symptoms, you don't need new shocks no matter what the mileage says. Scam number 12, inflated labor hours. This is where shops charge you for 3 hours of work when the job took 30 minutes. It's silent profit that most customers never catch. Here's how it works. Shops use something called book time, a standardized estimate of how long repairs should take, but an experienced mechanic can often do the job much faster. You still pay for the full book time even though they finished in a fraction of it. For example, replacing an alternator might have a book time of 2 hours. A skilled mechanic finishes it in 45 minutes. But your bill shows 2 hours at $120 per hour. That's $240 when the actual work was worth $90. That extra $150 pure profit. I've seen this taken to extremes. A customer came to me with a quote for spark plug replacement, 4 hours of labor for $480. I did the same job on her car in 1 hour and 15 minutes. She was being charged for nearly triple the actual time. The worst part? Sometimes mechanics will intentionally work slowly on flat-rate jobs to justify the hours. If they're getting paid for 3 hours anyway, why rush? How to protect yourself? Check labor rates on RepairPal or your mechanic for your specific car and repair. If a shop's quote is way higher, ask why. Always get a written estimate before approving work. And if the final bill exceeds the estimate by more than 10%, you have the right to dispute those charges. And finally, scam number 13, the free inspection trap. Nothing in life is free, and these courtesy inspections are designed to find problems that don't exist. Here's how it works. You come in for an oil change and they say, we'll do a free multi-point inspection while you wait. Sounds great, right? 20 minutes later, they hand you a report showing $1,500 in urgent repairs. Your suspension is shot, your belts are cracking, your fluids are contaminated. The American Automobile Association found that 22% of these free inspections lead to unnecessary repairs. The inspection isn't free, it's a sales tool designed to find things they can charge you for. I've seen inspection reports that flag perfectly normal surface cracks in serpentine belts as critical replacement needed, or claim your suspension is worn out when it's functioning perfectly fine. They use vague terms like worn components or fluid contamination without specific measurements. One customer showed me an inspection report from a quick lube place, $2,200 in necessary repairs. I inspected her car myself. She needed windshield wipers. That's it. $15 fix, not $2,200. Here's their psychology. They give you the inspection free, so you feel obligated. Then they hit you with urgent repairs while you're sitting there. No time to think, no time to get a second opinion. Just sign here and hand over your credit card. How to protect yourself? Never approve repairs on the spot during a free inspection. Say, I'll think about it, and get a second opinion from a mechanic you trust. Check reviews on BBB or Yelp, and remember, if you brought your car in running fine, it probably doesn't need $1,500 in urgent repairs. There you have it, all 13 mechanic scams that are costing Americans billions every year. And look, I know this paints a dark picture of my industry, but that's exactly why I made this video. The truth is, there are honest mechanics out there. We exist, but the dishonest ones make so much noise and cause so much damage that they ruin the reputation for all of us. That's why I fired that technician. That's why I'm risking backlash from other shops, because someone needs to tell you the truth. Here's my final advice. Find one mechanic you can trust and stick with them. Ask friends and family for recommendations. Check online reviews, but read the negative ones carefully. Do they mention upselling and pressure tactics? That's your red flag. And remember these red flags we covered today. Refusing to show you proof or measurements, creating urgency when there is none, not letting you see the old parts they're replaced, threatening to void your warranty, pushing services based on mileage, not symptoms, not allowing you time to think or get second opinions. If you see any of these tactics, walk out. Your car will be fine for the extra day it takes to find an honest shop. If this video saved you from even one of these scams, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I'm posting honest car advice every week, and I promise, no BS, no scams, just the truth that mechanics don't want you to know. Next video, I'm revealing the 10 cars that actually do last forever, including one that hit 1.2 million miles. You don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, and remember, an honest mechanic will always show you the problem, explain it clearly, and give you time to decide. Anything less than that, walk away. I'm Jake, and I'll see you in the next one.